This is the DJI Nano and this is the Insta360 Go Ultra. And we're gonna go test and compare these two cameras and see which camera might be the right camera for you, especially if you're looking for an ultra small, ultra portable action camera. And just so we're clear, this camera was sent to me from DroneWorks and this camera was sent to me by Insta360. But other than that, no money changed hands. So first off, these are both very small cameras. Slightly different form factor, but they're both incredibly small. And they both have some strengths and some weaknesses. We'll try and break down what those are. Now for footage, they both film up to 4K 60 in normal modes, and then they both have some slow motion modes, which I'm gonna try and find something good to test slow motion with. And they both have a night mode, which we'll test later today. And time lapses, hyper lapses, all that sort of extra smart features, which is really cool.
In the main video modes, they have mostly the same resolutions and frame rates. But when it comes to slow motion, the DJI Nano pulls ahead because both of them will do 1080p up to 240 frames a second. But when it comes to higher resolution slow motion, you get 4K 120 frames a second on the DJI Nano and 2.7K 120 frames a second on the Go Ultra. So if you film a lot of slow motion content, the Nano is a little bit better choice.
Now, when it comes to the footage, honestly, both of these cameras look really good and they do a really good job. Insta360 gives you some other options or wider options as far as fields of view, but they're both really, really good for basically action cameras, tiny action cameras. One area where DJI is winning in some cases, depending on your workflow, is the fact that they offer 10-bit color. Now, you're not gonna see a big difference in a lot of situations like this. You're not gonna see any difference in 10-bit versus normal 8-bit color, but you will see it when there's a lot of gradients, like sunrises especially. That's where you'll notice a difference in 10-bit color. And DJI also gives you the option to use 10-bit D-Log. So for somebody like me who shoots with a lot of different cameras or different kinds of cameras, then being able to color grade that in post and get the footage you want to match up to another camera is really nice. But the reality is most people are buying these cameras just to point, shoot, and capture footage. And that's pretty much what I've been doing for most everything in this video, because not everybody wants to color grade. And that's totally fine. These cameras are really about having a tiny pocketable camera with you that you can just pull out, hit go, and capture the footage that you want to capture.
And that brings us to low light. Now, both of these cameras offer a dedicated low light mode. Insta360 has their pure video mode and DJI has their super night mode. And both will give you surprisingly good low light results. Now, it's a very heavily processed image for both of them, but I was shocked at how low a light you can actually film with both of these cameras in when you're using their low light modes. The winner here, it's hard to say. In some cases, I feel like Insta360 did a little better, and in some cases, I feel like the DJI Nano did a little better. Now, I'm not a huge proponent of taking photos with tiny cameras like these, but you can. Insta360 offers up to 50 megapixel stills in 4x3 mode, and the DJI Nano offers up to 40 megapixel stills in the 4x3 mode. Which one is going to be better? They're very close, neck and neck. And honestly, again, I don't take a lot of photos with cameras this size. These are mostly, for me, about capturing point of view shots, behind the scene shots, and stuff like that. But you can take photos with both. Because audio makes up at least half of what makes your video good, both of these have pretty decent onboard audio. And this is what they sound like in basically a really great windless day.
So I'm down here at Trona Pinnacles doing some off-roading and some camping with Jevin and Levi. And I thought what better place to test the Go Ultra and the DJI Nano and compare these two super small ultra portable cameras. I feel like this is a good spot. I mean, come on. How cool is this place? Now, if you want to make sure you get good clean audio with either of these cameras, the coolest thing is that they both offer a small wireless mic. Insta360 has the Mic Air, which is this tiny one right here, and DJI has the Mic 2, Mic Mini, or Mic 3 that you can pair with these. And they're both the same sort of thing. It's a direct connection. You don't have to have any wires. You don't have to have, it's really pretty good quality. You've been listening to both of these so far. How's it sound? I mean, I love this option because especially if you're out in windy areas where you're going to be getting hammered with a lot of wind, these little mics will handle a ton of wind if you place them like under your shirt or inside your jacket, or even just use the little fuzzy wind muff. Like, they will do an incredible job. So that's super fun and super cool if you work outside a lot.
Now, both of these cameras offer built-in stabilization, and they both stabilize incredibly well. In some cases, I feel like the Insta360 Go Ultra did a little bit better job, and in other cases, I feel like the DJI Nano did a little bit better job. But honestly, both of them will give you really good, stable handheld footage. And they both offer a horizon balancing mode.
So this is horizon balancing, which basically means the cameras can tip up to 45 degrees, right about there, before they will flip into another mode, or flip into a sideways mode. So it's useful if you're doing things like I'm doing today, which is running around these pinnacles, and you don't want to have to worry about keeping the camera perfectly level, because no matter how you hold the camera, it will keep the horizon level, which is actually really cool and really useful in a lot of situations.
And then we come to battery life and form factor and size and weight and all of that. And here's where the two cameras are actually very different. Battery life, they're fairly close. At least in my experience, they're pretty close. And both of them offer a rapid recharge feature where they'll get you to 80% in like between 15 and 20 minutes, depending on the camera. And then they will slowly recharge to the rest of the 100%. Now on paper, at least, Insta360 recharges a little bit faster than the DJI does, but I think in my experience, it's been very minimal as far as the differences go. Now, when it comes to the cameras themselves, they're obviously shaped quite differently, and this also comes into play in their memory. With the Nano, you choose either a 64 or 128 internal memory gigabyte version, and then the SD card is actually in the extra module on here, and you can transfer the files from the camera to the card. Or you can choose to pull the files directly off via USB 3.1, which is pretty quick. Now, the Go Ultra, on the other hand, takes a very different approach, where the micro SD card is actually in the camera, and you can use up to, I think, 2 terabytes, which is insane. But I do actually prefer that way, because then you don't have to have the screen module, the extra module. And the extra module on the Go Ultra is a little bit bigger. Now, I think I like the form factor of the DJI Nano a little bit better, unless it comes to the screen feature, in which case I do like the Go Ultra a little bit better, because it just has a larger screen, and I think I like the ability to just flip that screen up and around and see what I'm doing rather than have to swap it around. And both of the cameras, like, you will see a live preview before you start recording when the screen unit is not next to the camera. Both cameras offer a form of voice control where you can essentially tell the camera to start recording or take a photo. The camera has to be on for those to work. And both cameras have this other mode of control. With Insta360, you get this gesture control where you can hold your hand up and basically get the camera to do certain things. And the DJI Nano has this system that you can set up to nod your head if it's on a helmet twice and it will start recording, or pat it twice and it will start recording. Both of these cameras come in various configurations and different kits you can get, and they both range in that $300 to $400 price range. At least that's currently in the US. Both of them are linked down in the description with affiliate links if you want to buy one. But next, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about these two cameras? Which one do you think won? Personally, it's a real toss-up. They both have their strengths, they both have their weaknesses, but they both did incredibly well. Next, you're going to want to watch this video right here. I'll see you over there. As always, if you have questions, ask me in the comments below, or join my live stream, which happens most Wednesday nights at 4 p.m. Alaska time, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we can have more of a conversation. I can answer questions that maybe I didn't get to in this video. I'll see you again soon in the next one. Cheers.